We live in an age where many of us get what we assume to be the news from social media, but much of what we read online is either politically biased, misinformed, conspiracy theories, or just good old-fashioned lies. And with this in mind, a few days ago I saw a post on Facebook which has been shared many times, and usually when I see something which is quite clearly bullshit, I'll just scroll past it, but this one caught my eye. But before I get going, a quick heads up. Although I'll be mocking the alleged facts and wording of this Facebook post, in no way am I making light of the subject matter. I used to be a youth worker and I'm well aware of the lifelong horrific impact of childhood trauma and abuse. So, let's get going. So this is the widely shared Facebook post. Does this make you uncomfortable? Fun fact, in 2019, Pope Benedict XVI resigned after serving only 8 years. But why? Hands up confused emoji. He resigned for age-related health problems and later said God led him to do so. Wrong. Pope Benedict was caught inappropriately touching children, trafficking them, killing them. So instead of jailing this paedophile, he was asked to step down and not make a scene in the name of the church and in the name of God. So there's some big accusations in there. Not least, the man who used to be God's representative on earth has apparently carried out multiple murders. Now, in no way am I trying to defend the Catholic Church, which is well documented with having problems regarding children's welfare, but I think most religions have the same issues. But that's just my opinion. I'm not trying to pass it off as the truth. So let's pick this shit apart. First up, fun fact, Pope Benedict XVI resigned in 2019. No, he fucking didn't. So by using the word fact, the author is implying that what they're saying is true and supported by empirical evidence. And this is what caught my eye, because I was in Rome in 2014, and at the time there were pictures everywhere of the then new and now current Pope, Pope Francis. If you type Pope Benedict, and that's all you need to type, into Google, on the very first page there are multiple sources confirming that he resigned in 2013. So whoever wrote this Facebook post was so fucking lazy they didn't even bother to fact check their first fact. And with that in mind, for me, that then casts doubt over everything else that they've written. Next up, why is almost every word in this sentence capitalised? I can't be sure, but I'm guessing it's because the author is thick as shit. Now, let's work backwards through the allegations. So we begin with the allegation that His Holiness, back in the day, was murdering children. And even if that were the case, which it isn't, I doubt there'd be any credible evidence. It's not like one afternoon in the Sistine Chapel, Pope Benedict would shout over to the bishops and cardinals saying, "Oi lads, I'm going to slaughter these kids. Get your phones out and video it." Next, the notion that the former cardinal has participated in people trafficking. Personally, if I was working at a checkpoint or customs or as a highways officer, and I discovered a van being driven by the Pope, I would suspect something untoward was going on. Finally, inappropriate touching, and here the author has provided photographs. So, these photos, you're looking there, I'm looking down here. We can see outlined some chap, not the Pope, with his hand on a child's backside. But is that abuse? Because we who've read this have been primed to view it as abuse, but maybe it's just some bloke stopping a child from losing their balance. And the photos of the pontiff kissing children. Isn't that part of the job? And we're only seeing these photographs from the one angle. But here is the same picture of Prince William taken from two different angles. And we can see by changing the angle, it completely changes the context. Then there's a load of hashtags, most of which are connected to the ridiculous QAnon conspiracy theory, which I recently did a video on, which suggests that world leaders and the elite are stealing children, killing them and drinking their blood. But what angers me with shit like this being shared on social media is it detracts from the real experiences of abuse survivors. It trivialises it and puts it into this fantasy conspiracy, and the people who come up with it should be fucking ashamed of themselves. That last bit was somewhat dark. But the weirdest thing with all this is not once is the actual dodgy past of the former Pope mentioned. As a child, he was in the Hitler Youth. He was an actual Nazi. But of course that doesn't get mentioned because it's a documented fact, and there's no place for facts for the people spreading lies on social media. Thanks for watching.